Why do you always wear cat whiskers on your face? Excuse me, my cat whiskers look like those things that football players put underneath their eyes, especially this one. I know I look weird, but this is my first ever video and this is also for a school project. Obviously, you must know what this is for. Yeah. I'm repping my new Dan and Phil merch though. From the new, what is it? No, it's not new, but it was from the live stream that they did in March. And I got the merch. And was it expensive? Yep. I spent all of last night and all of this morning like writing notes on the history of Dan and Phil. What I'm trying to say is that this video is about Dan and Phil, and this is basically the history of how they met, what they've done, and why our fandom sucks. Yes, I said that right. You hear the music in the background? It feels awkward that I'm just around a fan and an air conditioner. I need some cold air to fulfill the silence because I hate silence. Is that like phobia? I need a word for the phobia of silence. You can take pictures, take screenshots, tell me I look stupid, but I'm the official fan member 47094.
Well, if you don't get the fuck out my face.
If you want to see my merch shrine, that's it pretty much. I mean, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. I mean, half of these, this is from Depop. These are from Macari. This is from Depop. This is made from Etsy. I'm still waiting for a bracelet from Depop, but that person who made the bracelet is from the UK, and I'm still looking forward to buying some more Dan and Phil merch. I bought a lot of Dan and Phil merch right when I got my card, and it's pretty bad. For people who are merch collectors, how does it feel? Vanellope Von Sweets over there, I'm just gonna spend probably a lot of money on her. I fear that I'm gonna be a Disney adult just dedicated to Vanellope Von Sweets. This whole bed sheet, $30-something off of Amazon. I had to do, not really, no, $20-something off of Amazon because I had to add on something else to get free shipping. I didn't want to get charged on anything else. Let's just go back to what we were just talking about. Dan and Phil made a huge fan base on YouTube around the time of 2014, 2013. And it's been big ever since. It's been a little small, like, in the beginnings of Dan and Phil, but it's gotten more bigger, obviously. Right when Tumblr came around and when they got the BBC Radio 1 stuff and they started interviewing certain people, it just got more popular. And when they started making videos together, obviously around 2009, it just kind of made their brand more. And when they started working with other merch companies, it just started, you know, making their joint content better. Even when Phil's brother, Martin, started IRL merch, which was a pretty good idea since your little brother is a content creator. So you probably just did that. I'm a firm Dan and Phil fan, as y'all should know, ever since I was 7 years old. My sister gave me her iPad, and I found the photo booth challenge, thanks to her YouTube recommendations. And then I got my own tablet. My mom made my own YouTube account for me, and obviously I had the privilege to watch any Dan and Phil video, mostly Dan. Thank God I had my own YouTube account, because if I didn't, I would have gotten my butt whooped. But then when I started dying down on the iPad and, you know, tablet stuff, I got my own phone. My sister shared her YouTube account with me, and it was pretty weird. It's like watching like videos and they're like, oh, she's gonna be like, oh, why are you watching this? So I had to delete it. But now that I'm 18, I'm allowed to talk about whatever I should want. I knew very well that I shouldn't have been watching Dan and Phil at a young age, like 7 years old. But it was pretty cool because I did make 10 years last year. And last year I went to go see Terrible Influence Tour, which kind of like did heal my inner child, since the whole thing of Terrible Influence is we're here to heal your inner child, which kind of did, because, you know, it did. It was a really good thing for me to go see them. This is it right here. This is me seeing them. This is my outfit. Not my whole outfit, but that's just me. But yeah, it's at the point where I make my own merch from them. Like I custom made my own case as this case. I'm gonna take a picture of my phone case. This me with my own phone case. I like changing my phone cases, but this one I think I'm gonna keep forever. I did get another phone case, this one from AliExpress, before all the tariff stuff came around. I told you I did something, like I kept writing notes. I did! This is my 5 little book, and I thought I would start everything here. And this is Fan Iceberg. Ignore my chicken scrap. My kindergarten teacher hated me, so she didn't even bother helping me how to write. So this is Fan Iceberg, fan history in video info. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading off of this, and I hope you guys are gonna be interested in this history. Oh, that doesn't sound right. I'm sorry. Fan history. History doesn't sound right. My fan. But I'm gonna keep reading off of this until you guys understand. And I'll probably add some memes here and there, but I will definitely have some humor. Definitely have some humor. Let's start on the history of Dan and Phil real quick. I'm gonna start off with Daniel James Howell. He was born in Reading. Not Reading, Pennsylvania. Reading, United Kingdom Reading. And apparently, Reading's super expensive. Like, they're really rich people over there. You don't see what's in Reading? Damn. And Philip Michael Lester was born... I can't think of it. I'll probably put it in that somewhere. And yeah, their birthdays are June 11th, 1991. He is a Gemini, Dan Howell. Imagine Phil being a Gemini. You one of a son of a... February 30th.
Boys got the shout. Baby got...
January 30th. January 30th. Philip Michael Lester was born during the Bite of 87 on January 30th. He's an Aquarius. January Aquariuses are freaking slay. I love those guys. Oh. Rottenstall. I don't know how to say it.
Rottenstall.
I've seen Hometown Showdown like 5,000 times, and I still don't know how to like pronounce the damn town right. Anyway, starting off in 2004, Phil got the cereal box where he got his first camera from. As you guys probably should know, that Phil did get his degree in, was it York? He got his degree in York, and he went to do like some speech thing. I forgot what it's called. It's something. It's somewhere in here. And cinema studies. So yeah, twin, because I also got into college for cinema studies. Anyway, 2004, the black and white camera, which he used to do his first video vlog, March 27th, 2006. So yeah, and in 2006, in October, Dan made his YouTube channel. Not until 2007. Until 2007, Phil was doing his little side quests, and he was on the show The Weakest Link. He went into second place.
He makes great films.
He doesn't have a haircut like yours, does he?
He doesn't have much hair at all, though.
What the
He tried, and honestly, it's whatever. And then he was in a film called Faint Heart as a background extra, but he filmed about it. This is his vlog that he did. I think I'll link it below. But the film came out in 2008, but he was on the set of the film in 2007. In 2009, Phil got pretty popular on Formspring just because he was emo and hot. People thought he was straight back then, that's why. But in 2009, everything started. Dan and Phil history actually starts in 2009. The whole thing starts in 2009. You should know that. If you are not a real Dan and Phil fan, you don't even know what happened on the events of October 19th of 2009. In February 2009, February of 2009, Phil released Robot Death Machine, which he does, well, apparently he says that his grandmother used to read tarot cards, which is kind of crazy because same here. See twins because I also read tarot cards. But yeah, he also got pretty famous on Twitter too due to his rise of fame on YouTube. In the words of Curtis Connor,
this is crazy. I was watching Amazing Phil videos before Dan and Phil ever existed.
Something. And when he was doing his card reading, the Knight of Wands came into play, which basically is him just describing Dan. He is predicting Dan. Well, the cards are predicted Dan, but he said,
the future, the Knight of Wands. So some guy is going to have a big impact, an energetic warrior. He has a hasty personality and he's very quick to love or hate. Interesting. I'm glad it wasn't like death.
that sounds like Dan to me. Oh yeah, so he left for a while right after that. And this was apparently the first tweet that Dan responded to him, which was, that sounds like Dan. That sounds like Dan is not on fire. More, yeah, it pretty looks good. It pretty looks good. I'm dyslexic. There was more responses from them, obviously, and then around June of 2009, Phil starts responding to Dan. This is where we get to the part where, you know, on October 7th, this is where they finally get to speak about them being, like, you know, talking to each other. Phil on October 7th tweeted, "Whoa, I just talked to Dan for 5 hours." That sounds like something. That's weird. Mysterious. October 16th, 2009.
Hi, so my name is Dan.
Hello Internet was posted, which obviously I'm not gonna recreate that just for your sake, okay? Formspring, Dan got involved. And then obviously Formspring and Dailymotion and Twitter is probably like the big three of Dan and Phil popularity. October 19th, 2009. Where were you on October 19th of 2009? I was 3 years old. Yeah. Where were you? On October 19th, 2009. I was busy being a 2-year-old. What were you doing? Listen, that was the day that it all happened. That was the day when Pin-Off 1 was made. That was the days of all days for Dan and Phil. That was the day they first met. It's crazy. October 25th, the first Pin-Off was posted. If you don't know what Pin-Off is, it's Phil is Not on Fire. Phil is Not on Fire was posted on Phil's channel due to it saying Phil is not on fire. 22nd of 2009, Dan posted this on Twitter. And this is where all the fan proof starts. I was a firm believer of fan proof, so I'm not gonna. Dan tweets. It's beautiful. And then now we go to December, the 27th of December. The interactive Christmas adventure was posted, which back in the day we had like annotations, which I wish we had annotations. I would have used the hell out of annotations if I was a YouTuber back then. Obviously I couldn't. You know, it's pretty cool what they did. What they did was the annotations, I think they had links. You either picked which one, and it just sends you a playlist of interactive stuff, I believe. It's kind of like if you've seen Interactive Introverts, they had the game, spoilers, they had a game during the show, and you can play it on the DVD. Play it on the DVD. You can find it on YouTube. I'll try to link it below. But yeah. In 2010, in February, Phil gets his master's in linguistics and the Department of Theater, Film, and Television. I'm in that. I'm in the Department of Theater, Film, Television. Yeah. And then after he got there, Dan is going to a law firm. He's going to the London law firm, I believe. Yes, he got an internship at a London law firm, which starts his whole thing at wanting to be a lawyer. And that comes in pretty soon. We're gonna talk about that again pretty soon. In February, the video. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna have to like. You watch this video and I mention something that is the video that shall not be named. I do not want you to search it up. I don't want you to go on the wiki. I don't even want you to go on the Tumblr. I don't want you to spam copy pastas, and I do not want you to find this video. Do not search this up in the sakes of Dan and Phil, and do not search this up in the sakes of the fandom. It's a good thing, because if you search this up, you will be burnt to the stake by every single ex-demon fanny, and every single fanny, and also any fanny that has been a fanny before. That was good to get off my chest. So in February, the video was leaked. It was supposed to be a April Fool's joke, but you know, people. It's basically confirmed here that it is a April Fool's joke. But since the events of 2019 in June, people are saying, oh, it's probably not a April Fool's joke. And, you know, the real ones believe it's an actual April Fool's joke. So, yeah. Y'all better not search that up, because I will go through your screen and smack you straight in the face so you won't even have teeth. Okay? Anyway, it's privated. It's off the internet. And you know what? It's just there. And in May of 2010, Pin-Off 2 came out. And also, I think like a few months before, Dan and Phil hung out with a friend, which was also caused through the events of Dan making how to hang out with your favorite internet star. How to befriend your favorite internet star. There you go. But yeah, I think that's when he posted it. Yep. And then in August, Phil finished his master's and moves to Manchester. And then all of a sudden in September, guess who goes to Manchester University? That's right, Dan. How wouldn't he not have this sweater if he didn't go to Manchester University? It would just be really weird. And he agrees that he does not deserve to be wearing that hoodie.
Do I have any right to own or wear this object if I dropped out after 1 year?
Because I'm just gonna spoiler. He freaking dropped out after moving to Manchester. After Dan moved to Manchester, he got hospitalized. Yay! In December of that year, December of 2010, Amazing Dan 2 came out, yes. Did I even mention Amazing Dan?
No.
I didn't mention Amazing Dan. Amazing Dan is basically Pin-Off, but not really. It's like the first Amazing Dan is on Dan's channel, but the second Amazing Dan is privated now, which is weird, but I think you could still find it somewhere. You could still find it. I probably will link it below. I'll probably just like link the whole playlist below, the whole Dan and Phil videos in chronological order or anything like that if you want. Not even if you want. This is my video. On the 19th of December, The Tree was uploaded. The Tree is probably one of my favorite like earlier Dan and Phil videos, besides Amazing Dan 2, and Pin Off 1 and Pin Off 2. And then obviously The Tree is the birth of the iconic
Rave time, rave time, rave time, rave time, rave time, rave time. Don't step on the glass, don't step on the glass. Tinsel in your foot, bubble in your foot, bubble in your eye. Everybody cries when you go to A&E with a bubble in your face. Blood! Blood everywhere!
probably one of the first Dan and Phil joint content songs, which is Rave Time, which they used that song, and not that song, but they didn't make a remix out of it. They used it for like the holiday album. They used it for the holiday album for the lo-fi stuff. They called it Rave Time for a reason. Now we are at 2011.